Hey guys, welcome back. It's another Shelf Life, and this one is for September 3rd, 2023. And I'm hoping all of you listening to this and watching this are just excited. It's a Sunday, but it's a holiday Sunday. Monday is Labor Day, for us in the US at least. Hopefully you don't have to work tomorrow. You can stay up a little later. I have a new book for you that I wanted to share with you guys. This is Adams versus Jefferson, The Tumultuous Election of 1800, written by John Fairling. It's a nonfiction book that is in politics and history topics for the US. 2004 is when this was originally published, and it's about 280 pages, so not a long one. And in fact, this episode won't be a long one either. I liked this book, and I wanted to start off talking about how technically this is the first Shelf Life sequel, in a way. I did cover Adams versus Jefferson for the 1796 election in one of my first episodes of Shelf Life, which, although technically speaking, even this episode can be considered one of the first. We haven't done that many of these. But this is the next election between the same two guys with a different outcome. This is when Thomas Jefferson will become the third president of the United States. Oops, spoilers. There's not as much to say about this one as compared to the previous book. I do want to make it clear, it is not a part of the collection that I referenced with the previous book. This is a standalone thing as far as I'm aware. It's pretty obvious having read both of them. The first book, I talked about the amazing research, the reference to these old newspaper articles, the letters that had been saved, and it was really a deep, I don't want to say analysis, but it was deeply providing you with all of this information, what was on people's minds based on what has been preserved in writing. This book takes a different approach to it. It does have some of those pieces as part of the puzzle that it's showing for this election, but it has a very different feel. It doesn't feel as scholarly as the previous one, and I actually found myself wanting more information, but still finding this book enjoyable because it felt more of a personal accounting. How was Adams feeling and how was Jefferson feeling? What were the scenes like? I remember distinctly, or I think I do, I might be about to embarrass myself and be confusing this with another book, but I distinctly remember the description of John Adams heading from his home to the Capitol, how the trip was, what the weather was like for it, where he might have stopped or how long they had been riding. It's whereas the first one I feel like was meant to inform you about the ins and outs and all the different moving pieces creating this massive complex whole of the election of 1796. This one feels more like we're going to try and put you in this person's shoes without turning you into some sort of omniscient character. You're not necessarily in the head of Adams or Jefferson, while at the same time you are in their shoes. I enjoyed it. It's a really quick read for 280 pages. Nothing like, I forget how long the other one was, maybe 500 or somewhere around there. But it was also a relaxing, refreshing read after what the previous one was, as dense as it was. So if you were looking for something to cover an older election like this, but you didn't want it to be so heavy, you want it to be easier to get into, this is a great example of precisely what you're looking for. You'll know the results if you didn't know it beforehand, but you'll also get some color to the day and age that they were in. Like I said, it's a short one. The book itself seemed short, 280 pages, and I remember just flying through it personally. So it's really hard to add too much to this type of book, but It's the type of book I read. It's on my shelf. It's a part of my shelf life. So I'm going to leave you with this nice, sweet, simple, short one. And as always, if there's another book that you're familiar with that covers something that the books I'm talking about have covered and you want to recommend a read, share it. Let us know. You can do that via email. You can do that via the comments. I'm not soliciting comments from you, however, because I hate how YouTube has made every single content creator do that. I don't need to tell you about likes. I don't need to tell you about subscribes and comments. You know that. You use YouTube. You're not dumb. I'm starting to get on a soapbox here. See, look, this is a political book, and here I go on a soapbox, pounding the table with my fist like I've got something to say. And so, what do I have to say? I have to say goodbye. Thanks for joining me, guys, and I will see you next month.